So it's 9 a.m. here in Los Angeles, and it is 9:01. It's 9:01 here in Los Angeles. Monday, everybody loves Mondays. The 30th of March, AD 2026. And you can call in to the Hake Report, 888-775-3773. That is 1-888-77-JESSE, Jesse. Yeah, I'm a little late. But take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt. Info may be false. Watch out for snakes in the snake pit. And in California, 12:01 for me, a minute after noon. Yeah. We're in GMT -7 right now. Oh, here, let me bring in this thingamajigger here. This is the Hake Report website, thehakereport.com, and you are welcome to donate, subscribe, whatever. Okay? Oh, here, let me do this. Via YouTube, Rumble. What's up, Rumble crew? Shout out to Pastor Shadowley. Helped Jesse Lee Peterson raid the stream over there. Hello to Jules. T-Flying Monkey. I'm totally butchering his name. Old Saucy. And the rest. Homesteader Nick. Hey. And like I said earlier, take everything that you hear here with a grain of salt because info may be false and no endorsement nor opposition implied. The views do not represent Bond, JLP, Hake, Anchor Baby, Derek, the Fallen State, or anyone or anything, okay? I don't even represent myself. It's true. Complicated business, y'all. Just check something. Very complicated. You're welcome to call in, and as I mentioned, and not only call in, but go to buymeacoffee.com/the Hake Report. Oh, man. Oh, that's what's going on. I was like, why is it so warm over here? That's because I didn't point the fan at myself. You can do super chats by YouTube. Let's just see. Oh, yeah, that was funny. Shout out to Popcorn. Looks like I'm all caught up on those. Crazy news going on. What's up, Him Diddy? Him Diddy says with the super chat, if Elon's moon trip turns out to be... Here, let me go. Hey, look, finally I show the confetti when it's on the screen. If Elon's moon trip turns out to be AI, will you consider educating yourself about how the proof of heliocentrism was empirically attained? Oh, Lord, I don't even know what you're talking about. Heliocentrism means the sun is the center of our solar system. Is that what that means? The sun is the center and we're orbiting the sun? I guess that's what that means. Helio. If Elon's moon trip turns out to be AI, that's a big if. I don't play with ifs too much if I can help it. And when sometimes I can't help it because if is a mess. So, educating myself about how the proof of heliocentrism was empirically attained. Empirically. I don't know what empirically means necessarily. So let me just look this up real quick. Empirically defined. Something empirical. Means going toward knowledge through... Here. Oh, I didn't unmute that yet. Going toward knowledge through direct observation.
Empirically. Empirically.
Is that me or is that kind of loud? Oh, well, that's okay. Empirically. Why do I say it with like an Asian accent? What's up, Asians? Gaining knowledge, not going toward knowledge, through direct observation, experiments or practical experience rather than theory or logic. It refers to evidence verifiable by the senses, often used in science to mean data-based or testable. The theory was empirically tested and confirmed through a series of lab experiments. Okay, and why did he say that? Empirically, proof of heliocentrism was empirically attained. What does one have to do with the other, Himdi? I don't understand. But thank you for your support, of course. So my answer is probably no. Probably no, I wouldn't consider educating myself. Although you're doing it, you're making me consider educating myself without Elon's. Elon is not having a moon trip, is he? Or, oh yeah, he will eventually. Because the NASA, I don't think Elon is involved in, is NASA moon trip involving SpaceX in the coming week or so. Okay. Real quick. Yes, NASA is scheduled to launch the Artemis 2 mission, which will send 4 astronauts on a 10-day trip around the moon, while SpaceX is not directly launching this specific crewed mission. It uses NASA's SLS rocket. SpaceX is a key partner for future Artemis lunar landings. So what? No. So that's the answer is no. SpaceX is maybe for the future, but not this time. SpaceX's role not flying this mission. SpaceX is developing the Starship Human Landing System, HLS. Okay, for landing. So SpaceX is going to help them land, but they're just going to go around the far side of the moon. Deeper in space than any human being has gone. Any man, I should say, has gone. I noticed that far-left extremist off the deep end commie nonsense network calls it human. And I am starting to believe that human is, look at these. How corny. Look how corny it looks. Make them look corny. They're all looking off into space, all different. Well, these two are looking off that way. These two are looking off that way. We're looking at the purported astronauts, the crew of NASA's Artemis 2 mission. Very diverse. 2 white men, 1 black older dude, and a lady, a gal, who doesn't look like she's strong enough necessarily to save them as strong as they are enough to save her. A mess, huh? NASA's preparing to send humans around the moon. Humans. For the first time in more than 50 years, with liftoff possible as soon as Wednesday, April 1st, April Fool's Day, for Passover. The Passover is April 1st, right? Does it start in the evening of April 1st or the evening before April 1st? You know, because sundown is their beginning of their days, the Jews. 4 astronauts will embark on the Artemis 2 rocket from Kennedy Space Center, Florida. 10-day journey, take them beyond the moon's far side, deeper into space than any human has traveled before. Doesn't it look so communist for them to be saying human? Why not just say people or men? No man has traveled before. The crew reflects a more inclusive era of exploration. Communist buzzword, including the first woman, the first person of color, black, and the first Canadian. Oh, Lord, how embarrassing. Shout out, Canadians. Good job, Canadians. To venture into deep space. That's considered deep space, huh? The moon? Or further than the moon? Just further. The historic trip comes with serious risks, dangerous radiation exposure, to likely communication disruptions due to the sheer distance and physics involved with the flight. I suppose if you're blocked by the moon, maybe your communication can't get past the moon back to Earth. Not sure. What's up, Canada? So anyway, that's the story with the thing. And by the way, how... Let me just search it quickly, sir. Him diddy. How the proof of heliocentrism, it was empirically proven primarily through 17th century telescopic observations by Galileo Galilei, if I'm pronouncing his name correctly, which refuted geocentrism, which suggests geo being the Earth, right? By showing Venus's full cycle of phases, proving it orbits the sun, discovering Jupiter's moons, proving not everything orbits Earth. Later, stellar aberration and stellar parallax provided undeniable proof of Earth's motion. Duh, it's obviously spinning, and it's obviously a globe. Phases of Venus. 1610, Galileo observed Venus shows a full range of phases, crescent to full, similar to the moon. This is per AI, Google AI, so info may be false. Similar to the moon, this pattern is physically impossible if Venus orbits the Earth, as the sun must be behind Venus to create a full phase. Moons of Jupiter, Galilean moons. He discovered 4 moons orbiting Jupiter. Wow, that's awesome. Providing direct evidence that there are celestial centers of motion rather than Earth, other than just Earth. Stellar parallax, the lack of immediate visible shifting of stars. Parallax was a huge argument against heliocentrism, as it meant stars were incredibly far away. Friedrich Bessel later measured this shift, providing direct measurable proof of Earth's movement around the sun. Huh. Stellar aberration. I'm not sure I understood the parallax thing. Stellar aberration. James Bradley's 1725 discovery of stellar aberration, the apparent motion of stars caused by the speed of light combined with Earth's speed around the sun, provided definitive proof of Earth's revolution. Huh. Okay. Whatever. Kepler. Hey, I've heard of him. Johannes Kepler used Tycho Brahe's detailed data to demonstrate planets move in ellipses, not perfect circles, providing a much more accurate and mathematically sound model for heliocentrism. Huh? Planetary motion. Kepler's laws of planetary motion. In Copernicus' framework, Nicolaus Copernicus presented the first comprehensive modern mathematical model of heliocentric system in the 16th century. That would be the 1500s, though it is still relied on some ancient assumptions. Accumulated undeniable evidence from telescopes and careful astronomical measurements that showed the geocentric model to be impossible. Boom! So I've searched it without any AI. What is a moon trip, if it ever became AI, was done by AI? What do you mean by AI? Like fake AI video? I don't know. Anyway, that's the moon news, and it's happening, okay? We'll see. We're going back to the moon. Anyway, y'all. Oh, here. Ooh. I had a new beach stream. Should I show that one? Should I show that one, or should I go back to... Let me finish the desert. We got to get going here with the show, y'all. So let's just get right on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report, the Hake Report, la la la.
how y'all doing? I am fine. I have my snake shirt on. It's a cobra, but it's not the don't tread on me snake, although it is a yellow snake. It looks cool. I mean, it's a yellow shirt, kind of like the Gadsden flag, but it's nice. I won't tell you where I got it, which is telling you where I got it. But get yours if you like. There was crazy news going on over here. Crazy news. One of them was that here, let me just start over here. If we mosey on down to the Hake news stuff, we got the Artemis 2 mission. Trump is looking out for the people. I noticed that he tends to do that, even for the Cubans, but he's looking out for the TSA people. And I'm wondering about this TSA situation. As I'm listening to the news on the way into work this morning, I'm hearing Houston was something like 40% of TSA employees called out. And there was other places, Baltimore. There were these places where it seems like a lot of blacks work. Shout out. And so I'm just wondering, whereas LA, it wasn't quite as badly disrupted, interestingly enough. LA is, when I go to LAX, I think, yeah, there's quite a lot of black TSA workers or airport workers. I guess that's where they live, down a little bit further that way. And, you know, they're more prone to government work. But, well, I've made the point already that they're not necessarily the reliable. So anyway, Trump is making sure that they get paid. He signed the executive order and they will get paid soon, and very soon. And that's nice for those people. Their ICE, we'll see whether ICE agents will leave airports once TFA staffing stabilizes. 30% in like Baltimore, 30-something percent of TSA employees called out. Some workers already seeing their back pay processed. Pretty nice, because of the Department of Homeland Security shutdown by the Democrats who do not want ICE funded. And they pretend like they care about the people who got shot by ICE agents or whatever. They don't. They just don't want the law enforced. They don't want law and order. They have that mama thing. It reminds me of what's going on in Europe. I saw this from Ground News. Europe seeking to increase deportations as some warn of Trump-like tactics. Look at these people with their orange life vest-looking things. What does this say? Trying to, hold on, complicated business, y'all. If I can zoom in on this. Migrants trying to reach Britain walk on a beach shore in Gravelines, northern France, Wednesday the 18th, 2026. So these are, and they use the term migrants. They used to be called illegals. I think, at least in America, we used to call them illegals, who would be, because are they in France legally? But it's a mess, and it's gotten out of control. The European Union expanding their powers to track, raid, and deport so-called migrants to return hubs in third countries. Third countries sounds like they're talking about not their home country, not their would-be destination country if they had their druthers, but a third country in Africa and elsewhere, quietly adopting tactics of the Trump administration that have drawn public criticism across the 27-nation bloc. Poor EU people. Good old England left the EU. Lord, look at this. Don't look at the ads. The EU, European so-called Union, continues to tighten migration policies after right-wing parties, so-called, took power in some countries in 2024. European Commission President Ursula, nice name, Ursula. It's the name of a witch in where I come from. Is that the witch from The Little Mermaid? Von der Leyen. She's supposedly from the center-right European People's Party coalition. Doesn't sound very center-right to me. Sounds pretty liberal. But has said the new measures will prevent a repeat of the 2015 crisis. Is that where we were hearing about the rape-fugees? I don't know. But on Drudge Report, they were using this vulgar term. I disclaim it. I neither endorse nor oppose so-called rape-fugees. Terrible, huh? Ugh. Migration and law, right? About 1 million people in this crisis caused by Syria's civil war, so-called, arrived to seek asylum. Let me just search Ursula von der Leyen. Yeah, a woman, 67 years old. So since she's older, she's like a boomer age, roughly, maybe Gen X. I don't know how old Gen X is nowadays. You're a woman. You know, Bill Clinton said something interesting about how women would tend to be, let's hear how it says.
Ursula von der Leyen.
Ursula von der Leyen. Any woman who becomes president is going to be like a conservative. First female PM of England. Let's hear. Margaret Thatcher. And she was somewhat so-called conservative. Because the men aren't going to vote for a woman unless she's comes off as somewhat sensible. The women don't even care. Per capita. Exceptions to the rule. Many, many, many exceptions to the rule. And anyway, so Ursula may be one of those quote-unquote sensible women. Although how sensible can you be? You're trying to run the EU. Anyway, a repeat of the 2015 crisis. We have learnt, see, they use the term learnt, the lessons of the past. Today we are better equipped, said Ursula von der Leyen. The Pact on Migration and Asylum, going into effect June 12th. Far-right parties in Europe praised the deportation policies of Trump, our greatest president, and called the EU to adopt a similar approach. So-called human rights group, this is what I was talking about. Human rights groups warn the authorities are already illegally pushing back migrants at EU borders. Go back. And hollowing out their legal protections. Isn't that interesting? Italy provides a model. My point was, human rights, communists. Human rights groups, no such thing as human rights. It's all feel sorry for the evil, weak people and exploit the quote-unquote good, evil people. Exploit the Europe. Italy provides a model. The EU already spends millions of dollars to deter so-called migrants before they reach its shores. Money well spent, if that's, although maybe there's better ways to do it, smarter ways to do it, have supported tens of thousands of Africans returning home voluntarily or by force. Based? What's envisioned now is an expansion of what Italy has created under Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni and her tough on migration stance. 2 migrant detention centers for rejected asylum seekers in Albania. They operate it in Albania. One currently holds at least 90 migrants. That's so tiny amount, said lawmaker Rachel Scarpa, who said she found people confused and scared during a recent visit. Please. This is from far left AP. Mildly attractive gal, 29 years old. Oh, Lord. In Italian general election. Wow. Italy. So is she like the Cortez, Sandy Cortez, who's crying for the illegals here back during Trump's first administration? Crying outside that fence. Remember that picture? I got to show that to you. AOC crying fence. Doo-doo-doo-doo-doo. She did not stage a photo. Hold on. No, she didn't cry over a parking lot. What is this? I'm looking at this Google thing. Sandy Cortez. Oh, according to AlexandriaCortez.com, she did not cry. Her office denies claims that photos near the migrant shelter. This is all 2019 under Trump 1. Fact check from Sandy Cortez website. Look at this. Hold on, y'all. Hold on. And then I'll get to your calls. You're welcome to call in 888-775-3773. Look at her. She's not even wearing heels. She's wearing boots. Good job. No chains, no nothing. That's funny. Yeah. Remember these? Mildly attractive gal. Looking lost in the wind. Nice fence. Alas. Yvonne Pierre something. Oh, they were previously unpublished photos from 2018. In June of 2018. Oh, interested. Well, I'll repost these. This is the guy who apparently took those photos himself. I'm looking at, if you're watching the video feed, Yvonne Pierre Aguirre. Yeah, hey, shout out, sir. Never imagined we would meet the photographer himself who did that. Anyway, what a mess. No bans, no fences, no walls, no chains, no justice, no peace. Said this. I don't want to call her. I don't want to. Oh, yeah. Okay. So she posted that in 2018. Mess. Here, I'll repost it for you guys. So, Sandy Cortez, no different from Rachel Scarpa. Nasty Europe. Poor Europe. We'll see what happens. Here's something for you guys to be mad about. U.S. and EU. It was Palm Sunday yesterday, and Israeli police stopped Catholic leaders. Why do the Catholics not like Jews? But there are Catholics in Israel. Catholic leaders stopped from celebrating Palm Sunday Mass. That's Catholic for a church service, I guess, at a Jerusalem church. And here's a woman, I guess, reporting or something. All these women taking over, like JLP said. Here, let's see if there are other photos. Wow. Okay, yeah, I would go there too. Yikes. A big, beautiful, cavernous church. And here's, wow. Cardinal Pierluigi Pizzaballa, Latin Patriarch of Jerusalem, holds a prayer service to mark Palm Sunday in Jerusalem, the 29th yesterday. But he's outside. They didn't let him in because they couldn't protect him on the inside, was the claim. And I believe it. Why not? Why not believe it? Iran, and others are trying to strike. Yemen is even trying to strike Israel right now. Yemen is way down at the south of this thing. It's a big old thing. You don't even think of it as a peninsula, but they call it the Arabian Peninsula. I just learned in my geography study just earlier this morning. Look at this guy. Why does he have an Italian name and he's in Israel? Italian sounding name. Look at these people. Catholic faithfuls attend a Palm Sunday Mass at Monastery of Saint Savior in Jerusalem's Old City just yesterday. Shout out AP. Far left extremist off the deep end, anti-Christian, by the way, anti-white. AP. Christians walk with, that's what I call them. Info may be false, but they're not very pro-Trump. They're kind of anti-Trump. And yet they claim to be without, look, they claim to be without an agenda. News without an agenda. What a liar. Everybody has an agenda. Even if your agenda is just to present just the straight news, which it's not. Even if that's what your stated agenda is, and maybe even an intended agenda, you can't help yourself. It's like Hake. Hake can't help himself. These people, what is this thing? Oh, those are palm branches, I guess. Christians walk with palm branches Palm Sunday. Pretty area. Very nice buildings, arches, stones, walls. I love it. Shout out. They're griping, though. Israeli police prevented Catholic leaders from entering Church of the Holy Sepulchre to celebrate a private mass on the Christian holiday of Palm Sunday for the first time in centuries, setting off a wave of criticism from the United States and others. Now, a lot of you guys, I could imagine, would be speculating as to their true intentions, whoever's decision this was not to let them in. Jerusalem's major holy sites, including this church, are closed because of the ongoing Iran war. Cities come under frequent fire from Iranian missiles. And Yemen's trying to shoot stuff at them, too. The Houthis, not Yemen themselves, but the Houthis in Yemen, according to this report I read. Early Monday morning, Israel's police said they had approved a limited prayer framework for the church in consultation with the Latin Patriarchate, if I'm pronouncing that correctly, or even if I'm not, of Jerusalem. On Sunday, the patriarchs had called the police decision to bar entry a manifestly unreasonable and grossly disproportionate measure. Like they know. Maybe there's women running the police over there, sir, and then they're like overly protective. Better safe than sorry. Or maybe they're anti-Christian and any excuse to clamp down on the Christians' faith if you want to play victim about it. But I don't think that's what's going on. They wouldn't be like that, would they? You guys are all telling me these horror stories of what soldiers do to churches and bombing churches and using churches for outhouses and stuff like that. You guys with your dirty minds, projecting your dirty minds on the dirty minds of the Israeli IDF soldiers. Palm Sunday commemorates Jesus' triumphant entry into Jerusalem. And he rode on a donkey, humble, even though they were saying, "Hail, King of the Jews." Launches the Holy Week, so-called, commemorations for Christians, which culminates in Easter, also known as Resurrection Sunday, if you're going to be one of those people, of which you are. There must be a few Hake listeners who say Easter is a pagan holiday. So what? We turned it Christian. Israeli police said they notified church authorities Saturday that no mass could take place Palm Sunday because of safety considerations. The lack of access for emergency vehicles, narrow alleys for the old city, and lack of adequate shelter. In the Monday statement, police said the new framework would aim to enable freedom of worship, blah, 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 blah. Cavernous church deep in a maze of tiny alleyways, right? It's, they're trying to safeguard the so-called worshipers from Iranian attacks. Earlier this month, shrapnel from the interception of an Iranian missile fell onto a rooftop. So the Iron Dome, I guess, maybe intercepted the Iranian missile, and shrapnel from that Iron Dome missile interception thing, or maybe shrapnel from the Iranian missile, one or the other, fell onto a rooftop just steps from the church. Latin patriarchate, I pronounce it differently each time, said the Church of the Holy Sepulchre, whatever that is, I like that word though, sepulchre, had been hosting masses that aren't open to the public since the Iran war began Feb 28th, or like a month, or more than a month ago. Unclear why Sunday's mass and access to 2 priests were any different. It's a very, very sacred day for Christians. Oh, Lord. That doesn't strike me as real. And in our opinion, there was no justification for a decision or such an action, said Farid, F-A-R-I-D, Farid Juvran, J-U-B, as in boy, R-A-N, spokesman for the Latin Patriarchate of Jerusalem. What a mess, huh? And so because of that disagreement, this thing made headlines. Well, better safe than sorry. Israel's trying to protect the Christians. Isn't that nice? See? Israel looking out for their Christians. All right. I wanted to show you guys something. And I think that the best way for me to access it is on my history. Don't look at my history, y'all. Yes. Our greatest president stated this about saving money. Okay. Let me see if this is going to work. Oh, what's going on? Hold on. Complicated business, y'all. Oh, I might need... Am I bugging? Bugging? Hold on. Is this? Oh no, hold on. I might need Anchor Baby here because my audio is not working on the Studio 8. Yeah. No audio. He's going to pull his magic trick. Okay, how about here? Nothing. Let me just double check over here. Is there anything I can do? Okay. Oh, okay. Cool. I'm here. We're fixing the audio. Complicated business, y'all. Complicated business. So if you hear this thing... I did. If you hear this blast in your ears, pardon me, okay? Pardon me.
With a big S
there
on
we
it.
go. Nice.
Say Sharpie. As I'm signing a
$1
trillion airplane contract to buy brand new fighter jets, brand new B-2 bombers, of which we just ordered plenty. I can't do that with the press. Use your pen, but I like the pen the best. But
okay, this is our greatest president, Donald J. Trump. Thank you, Anchor Baby. Very good. Magic. I have no idea what he did.
So this pen is very inexpensive, but it writes well. I like it. But I can't have the pen the way it was. You know what it is. I don't want to give too much publicity, but they do treat me well, Sharpie. So I came here, they have $1,000 pens. And you know, you hand pens out, you're signing and you hand them out, you're handing them to all these people. Sometimes you have 30, 40 people. And they were $1,000 a piece. Beautiful pen, ballpoint. 1,000, it was gold, silver, gorgeous. But I'm handing out to kids that don't even know what they're doing. What is this, Mommy? It's kids. They're getting a pen for $1,000. They have no idea what it is. And I feel guilty because I'm like, you know, I'm by nature, I don't, you know, it's the government. I love the government like I love myself economically. I want to save money. So I'm saying, this is crazy. And it had another problem. They didn't write well. So I take it out and I saw it and there's no ink. And I got all you people looking, and you say, there must be something wrong with Trump. And I'm signing, and there's no ink in the pen, and it costs $1,000. This one, I called the guy. I said, I'd like to use your pen, but I can't have a gray thing with a big S on it saying Sharpie. as I'm signing a $1 trillion airplane contract to buy brand new fighter jets, brand new B-2 bombers, of which we just ordered plenty. I can't do that with the press. Use your pen, but I like the pen the best. But I'll sign it. I could do like Biden did, you know, give it to somebody else to sign, or an auto pen, or maybe sign it separately in another room. But I can't use your pen. He said, well, I can make it nicer. I said, what can you do? He said, I'll paint it black.
Nice.
I said, that's nice. And I can even paint the White House on it, sir, if you like.
The White House.
In gold.
Gold.
Almost real gold, not bad. And I can even do your signature, sir. And by the way, this was not staged. I just saw the pen sit there. I thought of this as an example of how $25 million spent by me at the Federal Reserve Building would be a better job than $4 billion that they're spending. And you know, one of the things that Kevin Warsh told me, he said they ripped down the nicest building. I don't know what building they're talking about. They ripped down a building, Scott, right? Kevin Warsh said it's the most beautiful building in Washington. He said the most beautiful space. They ripped it down. Why did they do that? I don't know. Do you know what he's talking about? Is it true?
Yes, sir.
They ripped it down. We have a moron at the Fed. So this pen is very inexpensive.
Isn't that crazy? Shout out. So maybe Trump is right about Jerome Powell. Sharpies. Oh, Trump must play amazing accordion, says Cloudbox, because he does this a lot. Oh, playing with an imaginary slinky, says Cloudbox. Funny. Isn't that nice? Hake, the army can still use you. Whatever, man. That's right. Trump consciousness flow, says Kevin Howe. I'm just reading the chat. So that the short, this is a YouTube short I came across just randomly. I looked up, I opened up YouTube because I forget why. Yesterday after I went for a little walk, jog, exercise thingamajigger after church, right? Finished up the Church with Jesse Lee Peterson podcast. Went out, came back, ate the rest of my breakfast leftovers. And I see this, Trump, Sharpies save money. And it's from C-SPAN, beautiful C-SPAN. Not to be confused with CNN. Both great outlets. Very presidential guy. Indeed, bald man. I don't know if you're thinking, I don't know if you're speaking sarcastically at all. $1 gas, let's go. Anyway, our greatest President Trump, looking out for the people, the White House. And it was just off the cuff. The off the cuff stuff is like the best from JLP, from Trump. When Trump is reading from the script, you know, the pre-written speech, probably by Stephen Miller or somebody great like that, and Stephen Miller is great. Are they really trying to fire Stephen Miller? Yes, he was being facetious, Baldman 54. That's Ronnie from Ohio. But that's just an example, a small example. And I don't know if it's really $1,000 pens, but he said it. But I don't necessarily believe it. Big picture, I believe Trump. And he was talking about the difference between $25 million that he would spend to fix the Federal Reserve buildings versus $4 billion. Is that what Jerome Powell is doing? No wonder they're investigating Jerome Powell over this thing. And you're right, Sharpies, a nice presentation of Sharpies. Sharpies are those markers, those permanent markers. Sharpie just took over the marker market with a slightly sharper version of a marker. Because it used to be those big black permanent markers that are kind of like a thick rectangle wedge. And then they came out with Sharpies. And I remember them coming into the forefront. I feel like I was coming back out of my home school into junior high and high school. They started having Sharpies. Stephen Miller, the most dangerous man in politics. That sounds awesome. Is that like not a compliment though? Google Sharpie, Hake, says Frank Rizzo. Don't tempt me, sir. I feel like you're trolling me. Frank Rizzo. which is he pronounced it Rizzo. All right. And I never really liked Sharpies, honestly. I felt they were too fat, but I suppose they work okay. I appreciate Trump because it's a great American company, I suppose. And the ballpoint pens don't work, and I understand that. I was never too big of a fan of ballpoint pens. I always preferred my mechanical pencil. Those are cool. Google Frank Rizzo. Yeah, I know. I did. Multiple times I've Googled Frank Rizzo. All right. Shout out our greatest president, Trump. Sharpies save money. And this Federal Reserve, don't call people flippantly moron, kids. Okay? Just FYI, just a side note. Let me get back to your super chats. Oh, what am I doing? There was a super chat from another from him Diddy. What good is flat Earth? No flurf is vaxxed, according to him Diddy. What good is that though? That's just something that's it's nice. I suppose that's good not to be vaxxed. In some cases, you're referring to the China virus schmaxine. I bet some of them are, but in general, they're not for that stuff. They don't fall for that. But they're like severely anti-vax, and they'll start to believe stuff about the vax that isn't even true. So what good is that? Yeah, you don't get sick from side effects from a schmax, but that's not necessarily a good example. You know, I had noted before that that these these flat Earth people, the space denier people, they tend to be on the right, the quote unquote right, but they don't tend to be right. They tend to be more Christian, more right wing, more pro Trump. In some cases, they've gotten off of being pro Trump because they fall for sometimes they fall for the Israel thing, smearing thing, to where they won't even support our greatest president, Trump. Not that he needs their support anymore. He didn't even need our future president's support. At least not fully. But our future president was certainly happy that our greatest president won again. I do believe, even though he's not happy with this Iran war thing. And then they tend to, just watch what you believe. I think I like JLP's advice and challenge, and maybe not challenge, but assignment or suggestion. Drop belief. Is that here in my thing? Is it probably done by now? Why is it not showing I thought, oh yeah, here it is. Yeah, Female Monday. Female Monday from just today. So, I don't know, that's not really a good example, in my opinion. All right, what good is FE? Unvaxxed. 3 X's. No, 2 X's only. All right. What's crazy is this. I do not understand this story. Corn tortillas in California must now contain folic acid, or now must contain folic acid. More states are looking at it. There's a picture of a Latin people with a little baby. Babies look crazy sometimes. With the eyeballs so big it's popping its eyelids out. Picture 1 of 2 in this. Andrea Lopez. She cradles her son Gabriel Gude different last name, at a hospital in Bakersfield, California, 2011, where he was born with anencephaly, a rare and severe birth defect. Oh, that's the very baby who died. A severe birth defect tied to a lack of folic acid, which is a key purported vitamin, courtesy Andrea Lopez via AP. Correction, corrects last name to Cude instead of Crude. Okay, so maybe it's a child out of wedlock or something. Wow, look at that face. It's not just the fact that it's a baby, tiny baby, but maybe it's a deformed baby. Her son, Gabriel Cude, hospital in Bakersfield in 2011. She's 44 today. She was 29 here, I guess, math-wise. Born with anencephaly, rare severe birth defect tied to a lack of folic acid. Okay, so it's an article in Far Left AP by Jonelle Alexia, Aleccia, and Amy Taxine. 15 years after she lost her baby to a rare, devastating birth defect, Andrea Lopez takes comfort knowing that other Latina mothers may finally avoid the same pain. In January, California became the first state to require food makers add folic acid, a crucial vitamin, to corn masa flour used to make tortillas and other traditional foods widely used in her community. Long-delayed move aimed at reducing Hispanic infants' disproportionately high rates of serious conditions called neural tube defects. Neural has to do with brain or nerves, which claimed Lopez's son, Gabriel Cude, when he was 10 days old. Such a small effort for such a tremendous impact, claimed she, as if she knows how much effort it is, but maybe she does. Andrea Lopez, 44, still living in Bakersfield, now a lawyer with 2 young daughters. Very little I wouldn't do to spare anybody this heartache, she claimed. So she became an activist, apparently, or something. A similar law takes effect in Alabama in June. Legislation pending or being considered in Florida, Georgia, not to be confused with George Floyd, Oklahoma, Oregon, more states, Texas, Delaware, New Jersey, Pennsylvania expressed active interest in this issue. Folic acid. So you have to add folic acid, otherwise your babies come out messed up? In the issue, per the Food Fortification Initiative advocacy group focusing on micronutrient deficiencies, all women and children in the United States should have access, communist buzzword, to folic acid and have healthy babies, said Scott Montgomery, the group's director of, I already lost, Food Fortification Initiative. Corn masa was excluded from a national mandate. For nearly 30 years, folic acid, a key B vitamin, who knew, has been required to be added to enriched wheat and white breads, cereals, and pastas in the USA. Decades of research show 1998 requirement cut rates of serious defects such as spina bifida, I've heard of that, and anencephaly, pardon my butchering of the term, by about 30%. Wow, really? Preventing about 1,300 cases, 1,300 cases fewer per year, I guess, per population, I guess, is regarded as one of the top public health triumphs of the 20th century. So they claim, Corn masa, staple used in Latino diets, was left out of the original fortification requirement, and rates of conditions such as spina bifida and anencephaly in that community have remained stubbornly high. In 2016, federal regulators allowed but did not require folic acid be added to corn masa products. By 2023, only about 1 in 7 corn masa flour. What is corn masa? Flour products and no corn tortillas contained folic acid, per some review. Oh, Lord. Defend press freedom. Always standing for press freedom. Yeah, right. That's a lie. Far left AP. You don't ever hear them standing up for the internet? Shout out to the internet. I heard the internet is closing down. Terrible. You didn't hear them standing up for the freedom of the press, the persecuted media members on X and YouTube and elsewhere. Nope. No, standing up for freedom of the press. That's the real press, right? Anyway, nationwide, Hispanic women have highest rates of having those defects during pregnancy. In California, the rate among Hispanic mothers is twice as high as for white or black women per state data. California's new law and state's huge buying power could help expand its adoption nationwide, said Joaquin Arambula, state assembly member, who sponsored the legislation passed in 2024. You have to be the first, oftentimes, to get the ball rolling, so I'm glad other states have taken up the mantle. Action and pressure from advocates has already spurred changes. I don't understand this. Gruma Corp., parent company of Mission Foods and Azteca Milling, been involved in fortification issue nearly 2 decades. Azteca selling some, not all, varieties of Massica, largest brand of corn masa flour with folic acid in 2016. Where do you get folic? I'm tempted to search, but I don't want to get lost in the searching. Where else would you get folic acid? What, it didn't exist? The science is clear. Folic acid fortification works, said Vijaya Kancherla, epidemiology professor at Emory Center for Spina Bifida Prevention. It's safe, it's proven, it's cost-effective. Hey, he calls it insanity, RFK Jr. does. Whoa! The plot thickens. Controversy. Whoa. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. sharply criticized California's new law in a post on X. This is insanity. California waging war against her children, targeting the poor and communities of color. Oh, Lord. Liberals versus liberals. A spokesman for Kennedy declined to explain the comments. Okay, so maybe he didn't know what he was talking about, RFK. But he is pretty fit. RFK, right? I don't know. What did I search? Oh, masa. Traditional Mexican dough made from nixtamalized corn steeped in lime water, forming the basis for tortillas, tamales, and pupusas. So, complicated business. Yeah. Hold on. And then I will get to your calls. Folic acid, vitamin B, what? B what? 9. B9. Not to be confused with non-malignant B9. Is crucial for cell production, DNA synthesis, preventing neural tube defects in early pregnancy. So recommended daily intake of 400 something. Folate deficiency, anemia. Folate deficiency is anemia. I thought that had to do with iron and lowers high homocysteine levels. Folate occurs naturally in foods like leafy greens. Eat your vegetables. See? Folic acid, is the synthetic, more stable form found in fortified products or supplements. Oh. So folic acid folate doesn't help, but folic acid does. But eat your vegetables. Essential for preventing major birth defects, they say, on the baby's brain and spine when taken before or during pregnancy. Red blood cell formation, prevent anemia by support. Oh, okay. Healthy red blood cells carry the iron, but you need healthy red blood cells, so you need folic acid, I guess. Cell division and function. Disease prevention may reduce risks of certain cancers, cardiovascular health, support mental health. Oh, Lord. I mean, maybe. I guess you do need blood to the brain, right? If it has anything to do with blood. Leafy greens, natural form found in leafy greens, citrus fruits, and beans. Well, so then what? Are they women not eating enough beans and greens and fruits? These Latino women? Folic acid, man-made synthetic form used in supplements and fortified foods, bread, cereal, which is more stable, whatever that means. Symptoms of deficiency, folate deficiency, fatigue and weakness, megaloblastic anemia, swollen tongue, mouth ulcers, diaphoria, gray hair, whoa, poor growth, excessive doses, abdominal cramps, diarrhea, rash, sleep disorders, irritability, confusion. So that's what's happening. So eat your vegetables. Kale, I guess, although I heard kale can be dangerous. Spinach, A. I get spinach. Citrus fruits, good to know. Beans, nuts, and liver. Ugh. And fortified from enriched bread, cereals, pasta, and flours. Women who are pregnant and may become pregnant consume 400 mcg daily, whatever that is. Anyway, that's the story. Okay, so let me just tell you guys. Let me make sure I update this. Folic acid, press freedom / folic acid continued. And birth defects. Against birth defects. Anyway, let me get to a call to y'all. 888-775-3773. Amy in Texas knows something about this, maybe. What's up, Amy? How you doing?
Good. How are you?
Fine. Thank you.
Okay, I know about bread and folic acid, but first of all, folic acid is not easily, because it is synthetic.
I never knew it was
absorbed by our
synthetic.
bodies.
Say again?
Folic acid that they're putting in bread,
Yeah.
it's synthetic.
Yeah.
And it's not easily absorbed by our bodies.
But it's more stable, whatever that means.
Stable just means that it's like
it won't go bad or go old?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just a preservative.
Oh. That's not
Our
necessary.
bodies need folate, and then our bodies take the folate and turn it into folic acid itself.
Oh.
But get this. Bread had folate in it originally, back when we were milling our own bread.
How did it have
milling
that?
our own grains. Because all of the wheat germ and everything had lots of vitamins in it, all just naturally. And then what happened was the industry said, people don't have time to make their own bread. We need to make it for them.
Uh-huh.
But they needed to make bread more stable. So they took the germ out of it and they gave you white bread. And white bread had nothing in it, and people were getting sick. Why were they getting sick? There was no more folate in the bread, as well as many other vitamins. Bread used to be, like, you know how the Bible calls it the bread of life? Bread used to be a whole food. You didn't need anything else with it.
Whoa. Okay, hold on.
Huh?
Okay, no, go ahead. I'm speaking to my Google searches. Sorry.
Oh.
Yeah. Yes, bread historically contained natural folate, vitamin B9, primarily found in German bran of whole grain wheat. Modern refining processes remove these nutrient-rich components, significantly lowering the natural folate levels in white flour. Many countries now mandate...
because they wanted...
Okay, go ahead.
They wanted stable bread. They wanted stable bread on the shelf.
Meaning bread that wouldn't
that's
turn...
why they had white bread.
Bread that wouldn't turn moldy and green?
As quickly.
They didn't want the bread turning moldy and green real fast? Is that what you mean by stable bread?
Exactly.
And what do you mean by white bread doesn't have anything in it? Of course it has something in it, right?
Oh, yeah. They add in folic acid.
Oh, okay. But what does it...
They give you the synthetic folic acid.
What does white bread have So white bread without any
Even
fortification.
even wheat bread doesn't have the germ in it.
They
It's
took out the
fake.
germ from the wheat germ, even from the wheat.
Yes.
That's crazy.
They add in a little bit of it, but not the original.
And they take
That's
that
why
out
there's a
because
huge.
the germ makes it turn bad.
I'm not entirely sure. It's just easier to process that way.
Okay.
And they can put their preservatives in it. It's like, I have just plain old bread sitting on my counter right now.
Yeah. Why not in the fridge?
Yeah.
you
Because my
laugh.
kids go through it pretty quick. I don't need to.
Oh, okay.
Put it in
Because
the
I
fridge.
noticed when
You
I
can-
used to buy bread, I would, and when I struck out on my own, right? I started putting it into the fridge and it would last longer.
Right. It does last longer.
Yeah.
Okay, so this bread has folate added to it rather than folic acid. Let's
Nice.
see. It has 8%. So you could probably Google how much bread has with the germ in it. And I bet it's more.
Okay. Let's see. Well, nice. Yeah, you may be right. And you know what? Also, we are supposed to be eating vegetables and citrus fruit, a little at least.
Right.
Anyway,
Right.
and a lot of people don't tend to eat their vegetables, right? And that
I
stuff
mean, I
has
think
folate.
we're all eating a lot of fast food right now, especially when you have two working spouses. You don't have anybody at home cooking,
Yeah.
unless if you're going to eat your meal really, really late, which is very bad for you. And that can cause obesity, eating food late at night right before you go to sleep.
Uh-huh.
So, like, people are eating fast food, which doesn't have any nutrients.
None?
And then or they're cooking and they're eating their dinners really late.
But white bread and fast food, they have to have a little bit of nutrients, but you're right, it doesn't have that thing that just feels like it's good for you and satisfying to you.
It doesn't have the fiber in it either. I mean, I got on I'm going to make my own bread kick. But then and then I was buying pre-milled flour, freshly milled flour, because it had the germ in it. And then I was making these breads with it. And then I was like, you know what? I should mill my own. And then that was when I kicked the bucket. It was too hard. I needed to buy an electric mill. And then my husband's like, you're spending too much time and money on this hobby. And I was like, you're right.
That's funny. That's true. You know, a lot of times women go overboard with this stuff. And people in general go overboard with this stuff. And some of it is like really not that important. I feel like you could have a little bit of fast food. I noticed that I was talking with another guy in my chat, not my chat, but Anchor Baby's chat, Kevin Howe. He said, I'm doxing him as he said every time he eats McDonald's, he's like, I'm never going to have it again. But I figured out a way to do it where I'll have like one sausage and egg McMuffin. I'll buy the two for $6 over here.
Okay.
I'll have one because if I have the second one, I'll be way too full and it'll like drag me down and I won't be able to function. I have one and then I have like a banana and some apple, or I'll have like some cucumber. So I have it, but I also have fiber and something that's actually has nutrients in it, like
we as
vegetables
Americans really lack fiber in our diet.
Yeah.
And that's something else that the germ offers in the bread is fiber. But people get really into sourdough as well.
Sourdough's good.
Sourdough is made, most of the time it's made with white flour. And so, like, I think I did sourdough for 3 months. and I gained 10 pounds, and I was like, oh my goodness.
Wait.
This is supposed to be good for me.
How did that happen? Say that again. You started eating sourdough.
Yeah, and I gained 10 pounds.
Dang. Well, sourdough is really tasty, and it is really good. It is thick and
Yeah, it's
sort of
thick.
heavy. And bread in general, I heard
I don't eat a lot of bread in general.
Okay, good.
So that's what happened was I started eating bread because of the sourdough.
Right.
And then, yeah, when I don't typically eat bread, I'm more of a rice person.
Oh, right on. Are you active, though? Because you have to be active if you're eating carbs like that, I heard. Or you're supposed to be active anyway.
I don't eat a lot of carbs. I'm not as active as I should be.
Right, yeah.
But I'm getting back to it.
Yeah, right on. Same here. Well, that's cool. Thank you for the input there.
Yeah, but folate, like I recommend if you're pregnant, then take a vitamin that has folate in it.
Okay.
Rather than a vitamin that has folic acid.
Was this old news to you, this thing?
Not that specific story, but yeah, I knew about the problem, like the issue with folate and folic acid. And there's also, I don't know, like if you want to go even further down the rabbit hole, there's people who have that gene where they can't process vitamins very well.
Whoa.
NTHHR
okay.
or something like that. And it has to do with a vitamin B deficiency. They just need more of it
Interesting.
than the average person is my belief, or they need it a specific way.
Yeah.
And that's why they're recommending a specific it's methylfolate.
Okay.
They're recommending methylfolate for people who have autism.
Whoa.
Because it's a deficiency in that.
And who's they?
Okay, so do you remember when Trump and, what's his name? You were just talking about
RFK Jr.?
Yes, RFK Jr. came out and they're like, we know what causes autism.
Right.
And we're going to make sure that everybody with autism takes this pill.
Was it aspirin?
And
or don't take too much aspirin, pregnant ladies?
Oh, no, that was Tylenol. Yeah, Tylenol's horrible.
Sorry.
It causes inflammation on the body.
Wow, it's supposed to, whereas it's supposed to.
And when you're pregnant, Tylenol reduces inflammation, but when you're pregnant, you need inflammation because that's what helps the baby to form.
Nice.
So then when you take the Tylenol, it stops the inflammation in the body, thus cutting off what the baby needs for nutrition and for development. And it hurts the baby's brain.
Dang.
But on top of that...
And where are you getting this info, if you can recall?
Well, okay.
Just from your research?
Alex Jones.
oh, Lord. So a competitor. That's funny.
But also, I've done research on it as well.
Yeah,
so
okay.
I've looked it up. Like, after he said it, I looked it up, and I'm like, whoa, he's right.
Disclaimer, no endorsement. Info may be false. Do your own research.
Well, you have your disclaimer at the beginning of the show.
That's right.
I have the right to be wrong.
Yeah, same here.
But I could be right.
Right. Yeah, I know that for sure. Do you think that RFK was? Do you think RFK Jr. was off base in California, forcing the Mexican corn people to put folic acid in their stuff? Is he saying that's an attack on? He's saying that's an attack on children and communities of color. I don't.
Okay.
Does he know what he's talking about?
I didn't understand that part exactly. He said, so he's saying that it needs to happen, or he's saying it doesn't need to happen?
He's saying it doesn't need to happen, and California is stupid for making this law, or ridiculous or something.
Well,
and in general, I'm against anything that California does, but California But I don't know. Maybe they know something I don't. So
I mean, all those ladies need to do is just take a prenatal vitamin.
that's
I
funny.
mean, and,
He
and
called it
that
insanity.
lady, that lady who's freaking out because her lady's born. What year was that?
That was back in
What year?
2011. That her
2011.
yeah, her baby 15 years ago. Her baby came out all messed up, and then it died within 10 days, or he died within 10 days. The boy, Gabriel.
Well, I mean, okay, so the Hispanic diet: rice, beans, meat, corn.
Yeah.
Oh, you were wondering. I'll tell you in a minute what corn masa is.
Okay.
But
Nice.
I don't know when all this information came out. Maybe she was the beginning of the movement of making sure that you had folic acid in your vitamins, but I don't think so. My mom took prenatal vitamins for my sister.
Yeah, and
who's 10 years younger than me. I don't think that the knowledge of you needing folic acid was new then.
yeah, 1998 was when this, I guess, a nationwide law or something like that. But the law,
Okay.
I don't know what this law was. 1998. 1998
Okay,
requirement.
so that's the year my sister was an infant. Yeah.
But it didn't, for some reason, they didn't include corn masa. It was all in breads and flour, but not corn masa, whatever that is, flour.
I don't think that corn naturally has folate in it.
Right. I don't know why they left it out.
Wheat naturally did.
Maybe I don't know what their reason was for letting them be exempt from it. But folic acid was.
There are some people who believe that folic acid, because it's synthetic, it causes more harm than good.
Oh, so maybe that's why RFK was against it.
And so RFK is probably like, it needs to be folate, not folic acid.
Oh, interesting.
Because your body is more easily absorbs folate than folic acid.
Okay.
Folic acid the body doesn't view it the same as folate, which folate the body takes and turns into folic acid itself.
Yeah.
By itself. It doesn't need folic acid, it needs folate.
Because it makes its own folic acid.
Correct.
And the folic acid gets in our blood, or it informs our blood or something? Whatever it does. Nice.
Yeah, I don't know.
Well, right on.
It's been a long time since I did all the research. Like, I did a lot of research on folic acid.
Are you Hispanic?
Folate in my first. No, but
you're in Texas,
I am in
so you're
Texas, and my dad's mother grew up in South Texas, and now I'm in South Texas.
Nice.
And so, just as a general, my mom learned to cook from my dad. My mom didn't know how to cook.
That's funny.
So growing up, we ate a lot of the stuff that my Mima taught my dad how to cook, and we had a lot of Mexican food.
Okay.
Mexican American.
Yeah. Was it fattening?
Meatloaf and brisket and enchiladas and tacos and nachos.
What about veggies? Did you guys have veggies and fruits?
I mean, yeah, like basically as a side, like to snack on.
Right. Interesting.
Okay. Do you know? I'm trying to think of whether not chili rellenos. Corn tortillas. They're made with the corn masa. That's the flour version of corn.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you for the explanation.
And I'm trying to think of the other thing that it's really thick and has a little bit of meat in it and a whole lot of the corn.
Yeah, it's tamales.
A tamale, yeah. Corn masa makes
and also
tamales.
pupusas. Pupusas are good.
Yep.
I didn't know those things existed until after I was out of high school. They're good, but they're
Nice.
bad. It seems like it's all like not really good for you.
Right. Corn in general is, I would say, not very good for you.
It's weird because corn is a vegetable, and so corn is supposed to be good for you. But I
It
guess
depends on who you ask. To some people, corn's a vegetable, but to some people, corn is a grain,
or a
like a
starch.
flour
Yeah, okay, yeah.
or starch. Yeah.
But if you have corn, it'll like kind of go right through you, so like it can't be that good for you. It's just like roughage.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, interesting.
Well, and corn makes the corn syrup, and corn syrup is horrible for you.
I heard that, and so is that true? What about
Yes.
what about canola oil? Is canola oil from like corn or something? Corn oil? Corn syrup is bad for you? Why do they use corn syrup instead
See,
of regular sugar? Is it cheaper to make?
oh, there's a whole story on that too.
Oh, I don't.
Yes.
Let's talk about that another time, just for the sake of time.
Okay.
I'm getting fatigued. But thank you. Cornstarch.
Yeah. So sugar in general is bad for you, but
Right.
so
If too much,
I'll
of course.
tell you later.
A little bit, but not too much.
It was nice talking to you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for calling and helping inform the situation.
Yep.
Take care, Amy.
Bye.
Bye. All right, Alan, Michigan, on the line over here. Alan, thank you for calling and holding, sir. Go ahead.
Why, thank you. I didn't think I'd get on so soon, and it was perfect timing.
Good.
Oh, by the way, the coffee du jour is blacker than black.
Nice. Right on. That's from
I thought
Jesse
you
Lee
throw it
Peterson
in.
shop.
Right. I wasn't going to call, but then I heard Amy start talking, what about 103 or whatever, from Texas, and I thought, wow, she is coming up with some very excellent things. And I in the past, have talked about the dangers of the foods we're eating. And I had, as a personal witness, had told you how I am trying to stay completely gluten-free and staying away from wheat products.
Okay.
And she makes a very good point. It seems that after World War II is when the degeneracy started coming in, when they started hybridizing wheat. And one of the things that, I don't know if anybody has seen the movie Gladiator, when in the one scene, and I'm sure a lot of your listeners know this, where it shows him, he had died and he's like going to the next world, and he's walking along in what would be his farm back in Spain. And it shows him taking his hand and going over the wheat.
Yeah.
And that couldn't have been, because wheat in those days was over 2 feet high. That's one of the reasons in early America people dreaded hailstorms. What happened was scientists or whatever had hybridized corn to the point, well, that it'll be about 10 or 12 inches high, so it would resist the tendency to droop over. So that's when this started. Now, if I understand correctly, and I read a book about celiac disease, that ancient grains, and they've gotten samples of it, didn't have as many chromosomes. And I believe the new grains are into the 40s. They manipulated it so much. I can't remember. I don't want to set this in stone. I leave this as a suggestion for people to check out. However, Amy's absolutely right about how the wheat has been bleached and denaturized to the point it's really not good. And I believe, if you remember a while ago, I had said I had lost 20 pounds when I stopped eating wheat products. So it shows you that my gut was filling with this dead material that was, just sitting there rotting. And then I start getting what is called the dad bod, where your stomach begins to extend out.
Yeah.
That's where it comes from. But she's very good on the folate. In fact, I was just ordering some vitamins, and one of the ones I take has folate, not folic acid. And that's something recently I, not discovered, but had brought to my attention. So good for Amy in Texas. I hope she calls again. She came up with some good things. I'm going to order some ground wheat, and I have a little kit I bought at a big box store for making sourdough bread. Now, I'll finish with this. When people get into this health thing, they'll make the mistake of trying to do everything at once. And it takes a lot of time. As Amy said, if you're going to grind your own wheat, which I'm not going to do, at least not yet, you have to do it in stages. Okay, I'm taking a certain vitamin, or I'm going to eliminate gluten from the diet, no wheat products. Do that for a month or two. Then you say, okay, now I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to eliminate this from the diet. That way you incorporate it gradually into your life. It's kind of like when you study scripture and, shout out. I've got to watch, Female Monday? I've never seen one of those. I might have to check that
That's
out.
on the Jesse Lee Peterson show, Female Monday.
Right.
Yep.
Right. I want to check out Female Monday. I've never watched one of those. I'm sure it'll be quite entertaining and stimulating.
Good.
So anyway, that's all I have to say. We've got to clean up our diet in this country and get rid of all these pesticides and things. And we might be forced into it as the economy begins to collapse around us. As a personal note, and I'm not bragging about this. In fact, I'm rather disheartened that the economy is collapsing. Some of my investments are inverse investments. In other words, as the stock market goes down, mine go up. And in the last 2 weeks, they've gained over $3,000 just from the little tiny dip we've had in the stock market. Now, I'm not boasting. I'm just saying, and I'm unhappy about it because I don't want to see people suffer.
Right.
Because you've seen thousands of people are being laid off from their jobs. So many from Amazon. I understand that UPS is now going to lay off a bunch of people because people haven't got the money to spend to get their Amazon shipments. The rich can. They have no problem. They don't care if gas goes to $10 a gallon. But for us slobs down here in blue-collar land, and that would include even you and Jesse and everything, you might be perceived as wealthy, but not compared to Elon Musk and Bezos and all these billionaires. So anyway, that's all I have to say. I'm just happy that Amy called in and gave some good information. I'm very happy about that. Thanks for letting me bloviate.
I appreciate it. Take care.
Okay, and I appreciate you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Make sure you catch American Anchor Baby, y'all. American Anchor Baby on YouTube and Rumble. Okay? He is scheduled. Let me prove it to you. Rumble.com/American Anchor Baby. That's the one for you guys over there on the Rumble crew. I'll paste it into the chat just for you after. Boom. All right, and then, he's also on YouTube. I saw Cloud Bops over there. And others. Hake. Fish Fanatic. Is that Fish Fanatic? It is. Nice. So make sure you catch them. Super Chats. Cesar, before I get back to your calls, 1-888-775-3773. Cesar or Cesar, 3 coffees. Sup, Hake, you reported on Hake News earlier that story about folic acid and the lady losing her child. 10 days. Didn't you think about why she was even feeding her 10-day-old child tortillas? Or was it just me? No, I think it's about what she was eating. What she was eating herself that left a deficiency to what the child was getting. Or she was doing something else. Maybe she was eating something that was bad for the child or not eating something that was necessary for the child. That's funny. I've been seeing a lot of old videos resurfacing about Bibi funding Hamas with $35 million a month with U.S. tax dollars, says Cesar or Cesar. I also saw a clip from 2009 with Ron Paul saying Hamas was created by Israel. Apparently, the idea was to keep Gaza and the West Bank from uniting by using Hamas. So, any thoughts on this, man? I don't know. This is the first I've heard of it. Other than I knew that the Israeli government sort of subsidizes the Palestinian government, if I understand correctly. And if you are funding the Palestinian government, you're funding Hamas. So I don't know. I wouldn't put it past the powers that be or the powers that were to have funded Hamas. It's kind of like Obama and Hillary were giving money and weapons, I think, something like that, to ISIS. And we were giving stuff to the Houthis because the Houthis were then fighting ISIS or something. So we've been giving bad guys stuff all the time. The Obama administration was allegedly gun running to the Mexican drug cartels somehow. And I don't know if the purpose was for anti-gun propaganda or if it was what the idea was. I don't know. I sent you a 43-second Rumble link about Ron Paul mentioning this in case you want to view it. Let's start the week off right, everybody. Celebration. P.S. That was great character interpretation you did on Ritter, comparing him to that other individual, Leo Terrell. You just may very well be onto something. Spectacle. Oops, my bad. Or bad. I misunderstood your report this morning. Didn't realize the baby was born already messed up. Yeah. No, the baby was not getting tortillas. I'm glad you left it like that. That's funny, though. Cesar or Cesar, he understands now. That's tempting. Let me check. Just so we can hear Rand Paul. Let's see. Truth only. 3 minutes, 25 seconds in. Right? Oh, Lord. What am I doing? Are you sure you sent it to me? That's funny. That showed me the wrong thing. Did you tag me on it, or did you send it from something else, or is my thing going haywire? I don't see any Rumble link from you. Send it again, truth only, unless you're sending from some other thing. Let me check my notifications. Maybe you tagged me. But it would have been a Rumble thing. What's up, Jake? What's up, Big Bump? Paul? Michael from Canada. All right, so I don't have the Ron Paul thing for you guys because I don't see the 43-second Rumble link. You might have sent it through email or something, and I don't see it handy here on my X live stuff. So yeah, I don't think of that as necessarily intentional to undermine them. I don't know. That's the first I've heard about them not wanting. So Palestine has the West Bank and it has Gaza. The West Bank is the bank of that river thing, the Jordan River, River Jordan. And then Gaza is over here on this side by what? Is that the Mediterranean Sea that they have that beautiful beach? Or what sea is that? What ocean is that? What is that? I don't know my geography map. Let's see. I should have gone to Google Maps. I should have gone to Google Earth. Remember that? Wasn't that awesome? I think I'm going the wrong way around the world. Okay, so where is Israel? It's over here somewhere, right? There's Yemen. I found out that that's Yemen, so this must be Israel. Lebanon, Egypt, Gaza Strip, and that must be like the West Bank. Is that it? What is that thing? Okay, so this body of water has, there's Cyprus, so maybe there's Greece over here. Is that the Mediterranean Sea? It doesn't want to tell me what this thing is. What a mess. Leave me alone in my ignorance. Let's get back to popcorn. Okay, hold on. Cesar, funding Hamas. Don't be demonizing BB on my show, sir. No, you can demonize him, but I disclaim I still like him. Okay, so Anchor Baby coming. Popcorn says, I've never heard anyone other than you refer to AP as far left or off the deep end. I'm glad that I could tell it to you first. Yeah, they are far left, and they are off the deep end. Just look at how they go along with the calling transgenders what they're not. Mark tends to reference Breitbart. No one will ever accuse them of being a down-the-middle outlet. My first question is, I would consider them sort of down the middle. They're kind of like a normie, sort of right-wing-ish. Because Andrew Breitbart was kind of a liberal, but he was pro-America. And he was not with these liberals today. And, yeah, I mean, they're just kind of just pro-Jewish, but also pro-American nationalist sort of thing, is my impression of Breitbart. Anyway, my first question is, what news outlets do you generally see as calling it down the middle? Ground news? I don't know. I know you referenced Ground News, on your show before, so I'm not promoting anything. They do a good job showing you the bias distribution in the articles they aggregate. Yeah. Are there any particular outlets on Ground News you tend to gravitate toward when you really want to get the facts of a story? Or do you try to mix and match? Any particular bias slant in the ones you favor? I historically have been, I don't know if it's written, using CNN, Commie Nonsense Network, with a dash of AP. AP is a little bit more informative maybe than CNN. AP is really good at, they have a huge network, so they get facts and pictures, which is cool. But yeah, they're kind of anti-nationalist in that they won't call it the Gulf of America. I really like Michael Tracy, of course, you guys know. I don't really have a favorite outlet. I'll look at Fox News here and there, but I already kind of know that they have a favored narrative on some things, so I can't really tell if they're giving me like the whole story. Obviously CNN and like the whole mainstream media outlet, what they call right wing is hardly right wing. Even Ground News, I don't really consider it very right wing. So I think that their idea of center is just off the deep end already, far left. And then left is just ridiculous. So I get that I'm kind of cheapening it by calling AP far left and off the deep end when they do try to be factual, but they try to prop up women and all kinds of stuff and gays, and they have an agenda. They're lying about not having an agenda. And they're pretending like Trump is attacking the free press. And he's not. Anyway, Trump is the free press. You and I are the free press, Popcorn. I heard you say that you were going on X asking these people. Anyway, I'm glad you picked up that I call AP far left AP. It's pretty off the deep end to be pushing the woman thing or to be pushing the transgender thing or going along with it, period. I guess you could just call that weak, because it is weak. And hey, I understand weakness. I can understand it. Even I think the mainstream right-wing groups will go with that stuff. Chris bought a coffee. Let me get this straight. Some Hispanic lady can't stop eating tortillas and doesn't get proper nutrition, so they pass a law. Shaking his head emoji. I don't know if they called it Andrea's Law or Gabriel Kudo's Law. Andrea Lopez's Law. Andrea is actually how they say it. That would be like me eating nothing but Oreos and passing a law to put protein in them. I don't know, man. I don't know. I don't totally get the story. I think it was just an example of something that happened, but she's just one example to personalize it. And, personal examples, anecdotes are great evidence, and they are great convincers. You need a specific sob story. You don't need all these statistics. A specific sob story is powerful. And anecdotes are important because, you know, anecdotes tell you the real story of how it happened with somebody, if they're telling the real story, and if they're telling everything. They didn't say what else she was eating or not eating, for example. But I like anecdotes. I stand with anecdotes. Anecdotes are the only way that you get a real story because statistics are only selective about the details. But anecdotes are very selective too, but you can get more details from one specific person's one specific story. Check out The Antidote has anecdotes of people who were poorly raised and they ended up messed up. Obama, Farrakhan, Trayvon Martin. So one lady eating tortillas make a law. That's funny, Chris. All right, let me keep on going because I do want to get to your calls. Cesar or Cesar, here are some main food sources that naturally contain high folate. Leafy greens, top sources, nice. Beans and legumes. Don't you have too many beans because I heard that that's a irritant, gastric irritant. Same thing with extra spicy stuff can be a gastric irritant. And even nuts, peanuts and all that stuff, gastric irritant. Causes gas and stuff like that. Or irritation. Burns. Anyway, fruits, especially citrus. Yeah, but citrus kind of hurts your mouth and stuff like that. No? Vegetables, nuts and seeds, other natural sources, egg yolks. Wow, beef liver, extremely high. But who likes liver? Whole grain, I don't know. Whole grains, some natural, some fortified. Shorty wasn't even eating of this and blaming the issue on tortillas. What the? Says Cesar Cesar. Thank you, Cesar or Cesar, on naturally high folate foods. All right, and then let me get back to the YouTube supers. Supers from YouTube on Brandy in Hawaii. They are giving autistic kids leucovorin and L-methylfolate B12, not the same as folic. Veggies don't have enough anymore. This is Brandy in Hawaii. Leucovorin and L-methylfolate B12. Not the same as folic acid, but that sounds even more processed because it's those are fancier names than even folic acid. Veggies don't have enough folate anymore. Wow, and she knows about that autism stuff. Seabill says, Ezekiel bread is good. Okay, I don't mean to, I disclaim, okay, no endorsement implied. Folic acid and folate acid is not the same, but folate is not acid. Folate is just folate. Wait, Brandy, I feel like you might have written that wrong. Folic acid and folate acid. Folate and folic acid are not the same. Folate is a naturally occurring form of vitamin B9 found in foods, while folic acid is the synthetic form, just as Amy from Texas said. Both help prevent birth defects. Folic acid is more stable, but requires conversion by the body. Oh, whereas folate is processed differently. I guess that means by the body. Folate, B9, leafy greens, citrus fruits, beans. Folic acid manufactured for supplements and fortified foods like bread and cereal. Huh. More easily absorbed by the body than natural folate, which is sensitive to light and heat. Oh, okay. So store in cool and dark places your stuff so that it lasts and you can benefit from it. Nice. Shout out to the scientists and nutritionist people. Him Diddy says colonizer and is better than, I don't know if I want to say this word, but ball gazer. Okay, thank you. Whatever him diddy, making me uncomfortable with these things, these puns. Colonizers are better than stargazers. I think you need both. You need both. Because we would not have been able to colonize were we not gazing at the stars for, direction. Because you have to look at the stars in order to navigate the sea, because there's no landmarks on the sea, because it's not land, it's sea. Everblazer, looks like X won't let me share external links. What? That stinks. Email me, thehakereport@gmail.com, or, I don't know, I'll start looking at DMs. Zenny tricked me into looking at DMs on IG. Why can't you share external links via X? That must be a weird thing. Usually you can. But thank you, YouTubers. All right. Rick, Hampton, VA, on the line over here. Rick, thank you for calling and holding, sir. Go ahead.
My brother Jay, I hope you had a great weekend.
I did. Thank you.
Man, oh man, what you think, Mom? We got some troops over there in Iran. Which they gonna go down?
Trump sent troops, and it's good to be ready. Be prepared. That's my motto, or at least it's the Boy Scouts motto. Maybe not mine, but it's good to be ready. Be prepared, and that can be a bargaining chip to hope. If we need to invade, we'll invade, and hopefully not be set on fire like Iran is threatening. If we do, and if we do that, maybe it'll help end the war quickly, or the military action, or whatever we're supposed to call it.
Now, the way when they tell you they're going to set everybody on fire, the only way to do that is with a nuclear weapon.
Interesting.
Yeah,
no, that's not the only way. That's not true, sir. There are other ways to set people on.
What are you going to do? I guess what I'm saying, Jay, what are you going to do, set each soldier on fire one by one?
I don't know. I think that didn't we firebomb Japan? I feel like we fire.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's
also they thinking about using nuclear weapons. That's
no, I don't think Iran has
the troops at one time.
You think Iran? No, I mean there's bombs that can get more than one troop at a time.
Unless they got conventional bombs, unless they non-nuclear, they can. That's some kind of way they're going to use some type of a weapon to do it. If they're talking about it, you see what I'm saying?
Are you hearing speculation that Iran has nuclear weapons that they can use?
No, I guess this is me speculating, Brother James. Okay. When he said they're using they're going to set all the soldiers on fire. That's the only way I can see in my mind how they can do it with some kind of weapon.
Oh well,
whether
sure.
It's a nuke.
Yeah, but probably not a nuke.
Conventional bomb.
Yeah, because they have missiles and all kinds of things.
See, that's the only way I can see them doing it, setting the troops on fire.
But I don't know if they even literally meant that. They're just talking big. They're talking tough, which they should. Now, they have a right to do it.
Now, you know what? I got a question.
Yeah.
Who controls the Strait of Hormuz? I mean, the Suez Canal. Iran controls that?
Well, they're a major player on the Suez Canal. Where am I? The Suez Canal. Oh no, wait, Suez Canal? Or are you talking about the Suez Canal?
The Strait of Hormuz?
Yeah, the Strait of Hormuz.
The Strait of Hormuz, yeah.
Can I turn off this?
Iran controls that.
Oh, my goodness. Iran. Here. Who controls Suez Canal? Or are you asking about the Strait of Hormuz?
Or the Straits of Hormuz.
Well, Iran is a major player in it, for sure. Trump is going to control it. It's going to be called the Strait of Trump.
So is the Strait of Hormuz how they transport oil to different countries?
Yeah, 20% of the world's oil, supposedly, I heard, goes through there. Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps asserts and enforces functional control over the Strait of Hormuz currently, as of March 2026, treating it as a war zone. It borders Iran to the north and Oman to the south. Okay, I didn't know that. And there's other shared legal territorial waters. They have the most significant influence via military presence on neighboring islands and charges ships transit fees. They're charging a toll. Yeah. But Trump is going to call it the Strait of Trump. And he's going to take it over, and he's going to take over some island maybe. And he may even take the oil. But take all of that with a grain of salt because I'm not really sure.
Gonna be interesting, man. It's gonna be interesting. I think so the main thing with Iran is that they was trying to develop nuclear weapons. That's the main issue President Trump had with Iran.
Yeah, he repeatedly said they cannot have nuclear weapons, and we're not going to let them have them.
Sounds like a plan of his. What do you think about Trump? That dude, he don't be bluffing, man.
Oh yeah, Trump will do some serious damage on you if he feels he needs to.
Yep, I mean, I like a president like Trump. Ain't scared, and Trump gonna get a lot done, man. If people don't pay attention, you won't be able to tell what President Trump is doing if you keep listening to the liberal media. You know what I'm saying, James?
Yeah. You won't know what's going on, and I already know that I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on, and I'm just
gonna have a wait to see attitude to see what's gonna happen.
Yeah.
Let's say if President Trump does control the Straits of Hormuz. What did Trump do if he do control it?
He'll make it great again.
Yep. Trump's a smart guy, man. I mean,
yeah, he is.
True businessman.
Yeah.
But a lot of these other countries, man, even with the tariffs, everybody don't have a problem with everybody charging us tariffs. But time we inflict tariffs on countries that's inflicting tariffs on us, everybody wants to, these tariffs making stuff high.
Right.
Well, y'all didn't say that when Biden was in office. None of y'all said nothing. Not a thing. All this started with this administration. All this. And then when you talk to most liberals, they act like they don't know what's going on. They just get to holler and putting their hand, just hollering, just answer you a question with another question. That's all they do.
That's true.
In most cases, man, it's like, I mean, with Biden was in our interest rates, so mortgages went up, food went up, energy costs went up, gas went up, everything went up.
Rick, I got to wrap it up here, sir.
Oh, man, I'm sorry about that, James.
No worries.
Well, thanks for taking my call. Love you, brother. Y'all be blessed, man, and I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Take care.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Love y'all. Be blessed.
You as well. Quickly, I'll see what I can do here. Popcorn says with the coffee, Alan casually mentioning at the end of his call that the economy is collapsing and Hake having a realization as he's talking, laughing out loud. Nothing to see here, folks. That was amazing. Grocery prices, layoffs, the economy in general. Winning? Asks Popcorn. Says he. He thinks that he's making a point, I guess. Let me see if I can play this thing. Oh, come on, if I refresh.
If you look at the history, you'll find out that Hamas was encouraged and really started by Israel because they wanted Hamas to counteract Yasser Arafat. And you said, well, yeah, that was better then and served its purpose, but we didn't want Hamas to do this. So then we as Americans say, well, we have such a good system, we're going to impose this on the world. We're going to invade Iraq and teach people how to be Democrats. We want free elections. So we encourage the Palestinians to have a free election. They do, and they elect Hamas. So we first, indirectly and directly through Israel, help establish Hamas. Then we have election. Then Hamas becomes dominant, so we have to kill them. It just doesn't make sense.
What a mess. Thank you, sir. Adios, America. American anchor, baby. Up next, y'all. Peace. In the Middle East, or at least in your hearts. Bye.